Okay, here we are now with the finish, getting ready to do the complete finishing. We've already done the stain and the glazing stain mixture, and you can see how it's all beautifully colored here. I wiped this off to make sure there was no dust on there, and I'm about ready to put the finished surface. Now, a lot of people call this French polishing, and it is to a degree, but what it is simply is a shellac mixture that you put on with a rag, a pad we call. And it's one of those things that is deceptively simple, but when you do it, everything has to be just right. The material has to be just right, the quantity of material, the shellac has to be just right. If you put too much, it puddles. If you put not enough, it smears. Let me show you how we do it. Right here is the mixture that I made. This is thinned out shellac. In other words, in a 3-pound shellac and cut down half and half, so it makes about a 1.5 pound cut shellac. I'm going to put on a rubber glove. It's not absolutely necessary, but it keeps your hands in better condition. Here is pad number 1. I keep it into a small jar and to keep it from drying out. These pads are quite valuable because they have the material in, and it's just about right, and it's hard to get that rightness. In other words, it's already got impregnated with the shellac. Now, what I do is take it like that in this piece of paper. It could be done on a piece of paper, but this is done on a piece of wood. And I go around like this and I rotate because it'll build up around the edges. Now watch this as I put it on. I'm putting it on with a certain amount of pressure. As I squeeze the pad, it oozes the shellac mixture out onto the surface. I'm putting on a gossamer-like layer of shellac, just very, very thin. Now, as I go along, I have to keep squeezing harder and harder to put more material out of the pad because it's running out. Getting over here, I'm really squeezing it very hard. I'm almost running out, but I got just do enough of it here. Okay, that's one quick coat. Now, what I do so that this rag will be ready the next time, or pad will be ready, I gave it a little indoctrination of the mixture. Put this away. Now, what happens is that will soak and consolidate in there, and it'll become, if I tried to use that rag right away, it just wouldn't work. Or it wouldn't work as well anyhow. So now we have the other, this is part of the leaf, and we'll do the same thing with this leaf. I'm going to use another rag, which is already impregnated, a little bigger one. You got to get it, just hold it just right so you have control. You see, I don't know whether you can see it or not, but see, this is just right. Now, if I squeeze it, some of the material that's impregnated inside that rag will come out to the surface. We don't want it now, but after I move along, I'll be squeezing it. You won't see it, but I'll have to do that. Look at that. Oh, boy. Oh, man. This rag is really just right. But I gotta tell you, if it's not just right, it'll smear, it can puddle. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Now we can go over this again if we're very careful. See how it's bringing it up here? That's why such a big to-do is made about French polishing. Because it can, I'm having to be careful, I have to concentrate and do squeezing to get the material to come out. Look at that. That's just a coat and a half, or 2 coats. Actually, I think we're going to try to, maybe pushing a little bit, but I'm going to try to give another coat on this with this rag. But what I'm going to do, see what happens here. See this, I'm wearing through the first, this is called a cover. I'm wearing through the cover. So that little thing, that little difference there will raise cane with what I'm trying to do. So, see this whole rag is thoroughly impregnated with the mixture. Let me refold it. This looks simple enough, but it's got to be done so that you have a reservoir in there, and then you have this smooth surface there. No, needs a little more mixture in here. Okay. I'm going to try this. If it's a little too not dry enough, I may stop. Oh, it's just perfect. Oh, look at that. Now it's beginning to dry out. I'm squeezing harder. See, these are the things you don't realize what's happening. You can watch somebody doing this and say, oh, I can do that. And then when you try it, this might be just about right to go. I'm going to try it over here. A little faster, a little lighter. And you see that come up? There's still some streaks in there, but they will be done with further applications. Now actually, this may look kind of easy too, but you know, when I come down here, I'm landing each stroke just like you would an airplane. Yeah, I'm not banging down on there. See, I'm coming off, coming on very carefully. Look at how that's coming up. Oh boy. See, all the time I'm gauging and controlling the speed and how much I am controlling the mixture that comes out by the squeeze. That's something you can't see. See how the depth and quality comes out there? Beautiful method. That's what you call, many people call French polishing. I call it padding with my shellac mixture. So now I have to put this rag away and wait a couple hours before we go at it and do the final coat. So for now, I'll just consider this episode to an end, and I'll come back later when it's all finished and we'll polish it off, wax it, rub it down a little bit and wax it, put the brasses on, and I can show you the whole finished product. That's what we do at the Whitley Studio in Bucks County, New Hope, Pennsylvania.